Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Connected Conversations. I am Martina Mazdrova. I am your host, and today I am so thrilled and excited and honored to welcome Jessy Correa. And with the Connected Conversation, what is it all about? If it's your first time watching, welcome. And the intention of these conversation is to really be the source of connection in whatever way it gets to look like. Maybe it is Jessy who you get to have in your life right now to hear something that she gets to share. Maybe it is a piece of information. Maybe it is something you've heard 20 times and suddenly it clicks. But the intention is that you move forward in your life in any way, shape, or form it gets to look like. So, Jessy, thank you so much for being here and investing your time.
Awesome. Well, Martina, thank you, first of all, for just creating this space where I get to connect and have a connected conversation, right?
Yes.
With our friends and family. So I'm honored for you just to have even thought of me, to invite me to share my story. My name is Jessy Correa, and I am from Nicaragua. And it's a beautiful country, which I left when I was one due to the war and moved to Costa Rica. And I lived there until the age of 7. And I am one of those little girls or children that crossed the Mexican border illegally with the coyotes. So I know that journey of having to go through the whole fear of crossing the USA Mexican border, and never realized that that journey itself was going to build within me this Jessy that would be courageous, that would be trusting, and it allowed me to even have faith of believing what the unseen, but knowing that it will come into fruition, right? Which was to meet my mom and dad, since they had left me when I was a little girl. So fast forwarding forward, I have had the opportunity to grow in a home where it was Latin culture all the way in Miami, Florida. I fell in love very young, which I thought about it the other day. I was like, I was 18. I was just a baby, right? With I was in college. It was wonderful. And I married the only boyfriend I've had in my life. And at 19, and we were married for 20 years. He was a minister, reverend in the Baptist church. At first, I was in love. I thought everything was perfect. However, the journey itself started shifting. Within the marriage, we had 6 children. But right around the 5th year is when we moved to Richmond, Virginia, and that is when the behavior started changing. I didn't know any different, right? Here I am, married, the only boyfriend I've had. I was a virgin. So every aspect of the journey was what I believe marriage was supposed to be like, right? He started having affairs. I was too ashamed to tell family because they didn't want me to marry an African American man. So how could I go back and tell the family, the black man you told me not to marry is doing these things to me? So I realized how important it is to have that relationship with the children that I now have, which are 6 of them. I can share with you guys that I've always been a woman of faith, which I said since the age of 7. I've had that faith that kept me. And I believe God would transform him. I believe that he would become the man that he seemed to have been from the beginning, right? But instead, during our 10th year anniversary, things started getting a little bit more out of hand. And that's when I used the word out of hand, meaning to say that money was disappearing. He would disappear. I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I asked for the divorce. But I thought it was a sign from God. And I took him back and found myself getting pregnant with our 5th child. And during that time is when we started losing the businesses, where I just couldn't understand what was happening. And I used to own my own daycare. I've always had the ability where anything I've set in my mind, guess what? We get it done. It might take me a little while, but we achieve it. So I had my own daycare for 10 years. It was doing amazing. I built so much in relationship in Richmond, Virginia, with friends and family. My home was like the go-to hangout place where let's go play with Miss Jessy, Miss Jessy's. It was a beautiful home. However, I was wearing masks. And I didn't realize how many masks I used to wear. Wear one for church, wear one for friends, wear one when I was at work, wear one when I would go to trainings, and
Mm.
then wear one when I was even with the man that I was married to, making it seem that everything was okay because I was afraid of the argument, of literally walking on eggshells. And
Mm.
obviously, I used to wear the mask with family when I would go to Miami. They would confront me and tell me there were problems in my marriage, but I was too ashamed to say what was
Mm.
really happening. So it turned out where we lost our homes, we lost our businesses. Pretty much, he had us move to Miami, and I lied to my father, saying that he had gotten a job. Daddy, of course, took us into his home, and that's when he had the courage to confront me and tell me he is abusing you. And what did I do? I defended him with tooth and nail.
Mm.
Like, no,
Mm.
we've lost everything. He's really frustrated, not realizing that I was being a battered woman, because in my mind that's not possible. He's a reverend. He doesn't
Mm.
abuse. He's just angry, and God will change him. But it continued getting worse to the point we were bouncing around from home to home. So we were being evicted left and right from different places. One of my boys, I was in denial that he had a special needs, and both him and I were the ones that were constantly getting. He would come at us, right?
Mm.
I was the kind of woman that I thought that being submissive meant that I had to take everything that he did. Because my faith, as I've shared, has been my rock, my anchor, but yet religion was my bondage.
Mm.
Because they tell you how I grew up, right? That you're together till death do you part, through sickness and in health. No, that is not true. Okay. Also,
Mm.
the fact that they like to make you believe when you're growing up that you know what, that you're his helpmeet, that you're supposed to be submissive to the spirit within him. Well, if he's not a God fearing man, but instead an abusive man who's doing drugs and who's drinking, no,
Mm.
we were not created to be abused. We were not created to be in an environment where you couldn't even speak or even be heard. I didn't even know the word gaslighting existed until
Mm.
I left him. And that was my truth. I share with you guys that by being a virgin, and here I am married, I did not know that I was being a victim of marital rape because I didn't know any different. I didn't. So
Mm.
that was my normal as well. And it is so important that we really create that space for our children and our youth to understand behaviors that are accepted and unaccepted. But since I grew up in a Catholic home, sex was bad. Since I grew up in a Catholic home, you're supposed to be a virgin until you get married, which I didn't. I started having sex before I married him, but it was the reality of the fact that he was the only one. And I just want to share this because it is so important to remove all of these ways of being that we've had in the past, the blueprint, you would say,
Mm.
that I know I was a victim of because I thought that was normal and it was not. But the beautiful thing is that even though I went through those 20 years in that marriage, I never believed that those circumstances defined me. I always
That's
believed,
huge.
yes, that there was a greater purpose in my life. I always believed that, yes, God will get the glory from our story, but that there was a light at the end of that tunnel. I never lost hope, as crazy as it sounds. So we went from bouncing around from home to home. He couldn't keep a job. And I, for some reason, just believed I needed to homeschool my kids because I had to create like a bubble around them. And I did. I really protected my children. We found ourselves moving to central Illinois with his family, moved into a basement in his brother's house. And it used to be so cold in that basement that I would have the heaters with the coils and make sure there was nothing near it because it could catch on fire. I just would get creative in signing my kids up in every event possible at the University of Illinois so they could do like some sort of like program and then we could get some mini stipend. I was pregnant of our sixth child and we would have to walk everywhere because it was so cold. We needed to make sure before the sunset that we would make it back home. So I was just very creative during that time. And I remember telling my daughter Genesis that I don't make promises, and I hope this encourages someone, but I really had made up my mind, which is like that mindset reset, I like to say, that we were going to move to Orlando. Mama was going to get a job. We were going to get a car. I was going to have a home. And we were going to get out of that basement. And I'll never
Mm.
forget how, hmm, man, I promised her that that's what we were going to do. Kept my promise. Because we did. We held a garage sale in the middle of winter in central Illinois. I had laid out all my stuff, everything I could possibly think of, and I had made up my mind that I was going to make $200 and move in with my brother's widow in Orlando. And I made my $200. And you may wonder, well, where was your husband at that time? Well, he had moved to Orlando. I kind of forgotten about us. And I knew I had to find a way to get out of that state because I saw what it was doing to my children and what it was doing to our dignity living in that basement. So we did move to Orlando. His parents helped, but I moved in with my brother's widow. And guess what I did? I called the husband. I was like, hey, come move with us. Because I was still in that mindset where I felt like the marriage still was possible. I still had hope in that man. And it did not help the situation at all. But it was just part of my story, right? Part of my story. So that summer, we ended up moving out, and I was bouncing around from hotel to hotel with my kids, trying to get away from him. And somehow he pulled me back in September. I moved back with him. And that's when I had to make a decision of March 2016 when one of my boys almost lost his life in his care that I needed to leave him. And I did not know how. I didn't have a plan. All I knew is that what I was going to was much greater than what I was leaving behind. So the woman that is speaking to you right now is the woman that literally took a leap of faith, of knowing that I had to break a cycle of abuse, knowing that by saying no and walking away, I was creating a new legacy for my children, knowing that I was standing up not just for myself, but not for my children, but my grandchildren and for others, because we were not created to be abused, misused, oppressed, depressed, or oppressed. Not at all. Has it been easy? Absolutely not. It has not. This is a woman who has had to find herself moving into an apartment, which, yes, it was infested with roaches, but I knew it had to be the beginning to moving
Mm.
forward. Having to take promotions at jobs that would take away food stamps. But I knew that it was going to set me up for that next step. So that may not be your story, but we all are fighting some kind of battle
Mm.
of some sort. And all that we need is within you, that treasure, that
Mm.
strength, that determination. And I used to live in a two-bedroom, two-bathroom, and that was in Kissimmee. And guess what happened? Hurricane Irma hit, and the ceiling collapsed on us. And I found myself homeless again. Couldn't understand what was going on, but I knew that God, that did not take God by surprise, that He was setting my family for another step of faith. And sure enough, I never knew how much people loved me.
Mm.
They just started pouring, creating a GoFundMe, sending me clothes, sending me washcloths, sending me hangers. I used to work for Booking.com, and they supported me around the world because it's global. And I never had realized how much support I was going to get in such a vulnerable time in my life.
Mm.
So it's okay to say I need help, guys. It's okay to say I need support. As a matter of fact, I took a leap of faith and shared in February that I wanted to do a bikini body competition, right? And I'm only sharing this because today I made a post about I struggle with procrastination. Okay, Martina, big time.
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
Okay, big time. So I only brought this up because during that time of the hurricane, I had to be very open and vulnerable, saying, I don't know what to do next. I refuse to go back to this man. because he would tell me, oh, you fall flat on your face, you're going to come back crawling to me. And I was like, no, I will not. I made up my mind because what I did is I own my worth. I said, no more abuse in my life. And by actually speaking up and sharing what I was going through, allowed room for people to start pouring into my life and holding me in their arms, in their prayers, phone call. And it allowed my family to move to a better situation.
Mm.
Has really just opened up doors for me. It wasn't easy. I have fought the thoughts, I mean, the words that sometimes just like try to come back into my mind, but then I realized no, I have the opportunity of transforming my life. And I followed through with the divorce in May of 2018. It is horrible. Going through a divorce is painful, especially when you have your abuser just literally coming at you. And I couldn't afford a lawyer, but it didn't matter. I knew I had to follow through with it. And here I am 3 years later, and I'm in a place I really believed that I was going to be in. I moved into a 3-bedroom apartment, so I finally have my own room. Hey, believe me, with things you take for granted. Right? But the beautiful thing is that my children are able to see that they have worth, that they also have the privilege to say, no, I don't deserve this. Yes, I am worthy. Yes, it's a new legacy that I've created of courage, of strength, of resilience.
Mm.
I'm not any stronger than you. I'm not any wiser. I just made a choice. I chose myself. And with this bikini body competition that Martina heard me share that I was going to do back in February, where I did this, we did this leadership training together, hardcore leadership.
Yes.
And when I had wanted to do that like 12 years ago, but life happened, as I kind of gave you a little mini clip of my life. But I realized that the bikini body competition wasn't just about getting leaner and losing the body fat, which by the way, I've lost 35 pounds. I've
Good
lost
stuff. Oh
16%
my
body
God.
fat.
Congratulations. This is
February
incredible.
today. Martina has been tough, so hard. But you know what? I've had an incredible support of an immense amount of people. And it came from me being opened. It came from me being transparent. It came from me realizing that I have an opportunity to share my story because through my pain, through what I experienced, it could be an encouragement to someone.
Mm.
Because during this journey, I had one woman, her name's Maria Elena, who would always be there for me, always. And man, I used to call her when I used to be sitting at the Walmart. Wow, I did not think I'd get emotional. Parking lot at the Walmart in Illinois, and it's so cold. And I used to call her and tell her, I can't do this. And she's like, yes, you can, because I did it. And I was like, how? I don't see. But she's like, you know how. It's in you. And I owned it. And I owned it. And today I have an opportunity to tell someone, I believe in you. It may not be domestic violence. It may not be abuse. It may be some sort of goal that you've wanted and you've had a fear or a doubt, or you've second guessed yourself of the ability. It's within you. This is coming from a woman that's about to hit stage on the 25th. We're talking about in 5 days after giving birth to 6 children. It's not about having this perfect physique. It's about you finish what you start. Do you understand? There's that vision that you have. There's those goals and those dreams and those desires. You are able to achieve them. It's not going to be easy. People are going to judge you. I have been judged left and right. Why did you marry so young? Why did you marry a black man? Why are you having kids so early? Why are you having so many kids? Why are you moving out of state? What makes you think you can run a business? Why didn't you tell us you were going through domestic violence? Why were you bouncing around from home to home? Why did you allow him to treat you that way? I mean, why didn't you teach your children how to speak Spanish? I mean, I can keep on going. And right now, being judged about why are you wearing a bikini? You know, hey, I still got some spots I could do a little bit more work, but guess what? I finished what I started, and so can you. All right? So all of those critics or all of those doubts or the things that were spoken to you as a child or even as an adult, no, you have value, you have worth, you have courage, you have absolute everything in order to achieve these things. Even what Martina's doing, a connected conversation. I know that that was a dream that she had for who knows how long, and here we are. I have the privilege of being part of this, being part of your vision, my beautiful Martina. How awesome is that?
Now you're getting me all emotional.
It comes into fruition. And we both were going to get emotional because we are able to. And I made up my mind that I was going to finish what I started, but I have moments where I just kind of like question. Saturday morning, I'll be honest, having to be in my bikini and walk in front of a lot of people, I was like, I can't do this. This was just practice.
Oh.
But I had to say, no, we get to do this. Why not? And I just turned 43 on Friday, and I'm like, whoa, girl, I'm 43. Something I never thought about doing at 23, you know? But the beautiful thing is that believe in yourself. I've had to do more affirmations, right? I am powerful. I am courageous. I am brilliant. I am beautiful. I am unstoppable. I am creative, right? I am inspirational. I am life. I am love. I am light. I am joy. I am peace. I am healing. Yes.
Yes, you are.
And you heal by healing others. You know? So we all have different stories. And the other day I told my girlfriend, just like I shared with you guys, we all are dealing with some sort of battle, but the war has already been won. Yes, it has. So if there's just any takeaway from what I'm saying is that, guess what? You're able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ever imagine, ask, or think, according to the power that worketh within you. That's actually a scripture. But it reminds me of my worth, that I can do it, that treasure that I'm searching, it's already within you. It's owning it. And as I turned 43, I was like, okay, God, what are we doing? Because when I turned 42, he said, we're taking you to a new level of mental fortitude. And my God, have I not? Because through this whole bikini competition training and having to deal with court and issues with the ex-husband, but I realized, guess what? The worst part is over. I left him.
Yeah.
I left him. And sometimes we have to leave those thoughts. Not always people, but sometimes people, in my case, and many times. But as I turned 43, I own that I have now the opportunity of creating new memories. And I get to enjoy the beauty of being free. And so do you. So that business that you've wanted, guess what? You can do it. Whatever endeavor you've had to travel across the world, you can do it. To save and buy that house, you can do it. I'm going to do it because I'm going to buy me a home again. And I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it. I'm speaking it.
It's done.
Absolutely.
It's done.
Yeah. And even writing a book, because I shared back in February, which was part of what we were doing. I was writing my book and I kind of had put it aside because this whole competition had taken so much from me. But I didn't realize it was part of the book. Yeah. It's part of the book because it's a transformation. It's owning my voice in a physical manifestation. Because I have transformed my mind, my thoughts, owning who I am. I'm also transforming my body. And my ultimate goal is to really make that platform for other men and women to know, guess what? So can you. You have the power of transformation. It's in you.
What a gift.
Yeah.
If we choose it, right?
Yes. If we choose it. And yes, we're going to have moments of self-doubt, but that's our human nature. And that's where the affirmations I said come in. Even my own children, sometimes we need people to hold you accountable. And you got to say that. My kids will be like, are you supposed to be eating that? And mind you, it'd be like, no, because they know mama has to go. They're like, Mom, are you getting the amount of rest that you should be getting? Because they see I'm getting edgy. I'm not. Let me put my phone down, from social media. I mean, my kids hold me accountable, okay?
That's
and
so
then
beautiful.
It is, yeah. And then friends here at work, where they bring all kind of like food, and I'm just looking at it. They're like, it doesn't taste good, Jessy. You don't want that. They know. So all I'm trying to say is support is available. Open yourself up to it. It's okay
Yeah.
to connect with others, which is exactly what Martina's doing, holding a connected conversation. And how beautiful is that? And it allows you to have an opportunity to get to know the other person's story. And little do you know how inspirational you could be to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a gift that keeps on giving, Martina, right? When you connect with people.
It's incredible. I mean, I know like my transformation happened through shares. The biggest part of me just evolving and literally transforming, it was through other stories, through people sharing their breakdowns, their breakthroughs, their views, where suddenly this is exactly what I need to hear. And that was the intention of this coming alive, because I know it supported me so much. And it started in the leadership program which we've done together. They started to have these conversations, and every single conversation has been like connector, literally a connector, like a missing puzzle piece to me. And it started to build up, and then I'm just like, oh my god, in a way we are one.
Yes.
Like we are alike. If we are here together, if you are here listening, there is something for you. There it's If it means to share, if it's for you, this is not, nothing is a coincidence, everything is for us. So I mean,
Absolutely.
Jessy, I'm so touched. I'm literally like,
Aww.
oh God, you got me. So first of all, I really, really want to acknowledge you for the person you are, Jessy, for sharing your heart, for being vulnerable, for being so strong, for being so resilient and courageous, passionate about life, for being the source of transformation, for being the hope and the light for others, because it takes freaking courage to do what you're doing, even speaking up so vulnerable and openly about your experience. Because I know that there are so many people out there who can relate in some way of shape or form, if it means that they are in a domestic abuse as well, or it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But you've said so many golden nuggets, and something that really resonated with me, a few things that I really want to come back to, that you said that your situation, however hard and difficult it was, you didn't allow it to define you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do that? You know what I mean? Because I feel through the more and more conversations I'm having, and I'm involved in different conversations, this is a common thing, that we look at our current situation, and we tend to put, this is me, this is who I am, this is where I am. Maybe there are people who had the dreams, and I used to feel like that. I had the dreams and the vision and all that, but I just could not see, where is the bridge though. This is where I am. How can I do that? Like the house, right? Being stuck in the mechanics. How this is where I am, and this is it. This is it.
Mm.
So what supported you to make that shift, not to see it as this is it?
Yeah, that's wow. You know, my faith has played such a significant role to be my rock. You know, of always believing that I've been created for greatness.
Yes,
You know, always.
yes you
Now,
are.
yes, we all are been created for greatness. We all have gifts and talents to bring into this world. And let me tell you, I had reached a point where I had internalized so much of the abuse. I was 226 pounds and size 20. Yeah. So even at that time that I was that big, I knew I was going to get to that place where I was going to hit stage one day.
Mm.
Okay. So I use that as an example because it's really defining in your mind to where you give yourself a choice,
Yeah.
that there's no choice but to achieve that. And that's what I did. I don't want to say that I like to define Newton's law, because to say Newton's law is like physical change has to take place. I kind of define it in my brain. Like I'm already walking that. And this is like,
And
you
that's
know,
it.
yeah.
It's mm.
But it's really just even being in that basement and that situation that I was in, and looking at 5 kids and an infant child, like, how in the world are you going to do this?
Mm.
It was more of like, no, we are going to do this. So never looking at it as an obstacle, but looking at it as an opportunity.
That's it.
Yeah. And that just changes. That's like a game changer, because it's kind of like when you go to the eye doctor and they're like 1, 2, 3, So basically, you're changing your lens of how you look at life. Obstacle, opportunity. Obstacle, opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to really bring the best out of me. This is not an obstacle to get the best out of me. Okay?
Yeah.
My life happens, but it doesn't have to happen to you. It can happen for you. That's right.
This is incredible, because that's what has been life-changing for me, to put this lens on, looking at it, anything that happens. And sometimes, as difficult the situations are, looking at them, how is this a gift? How is this the best experience I'm having right now for me? Maybe sometimes it's not what we want that we are getting, but it's what we need, right? To get to the next version of ourselves as we are on this journey, right?
Yes.
So, and what I'm hearing you to say, it is that you've had the intention. You didn't know the how, you didn't know the mechanics, but you had the intention. I am getting myself out and the children out of the basement.
Oh, yeah.
I am getting myself, and you were already, what I'm hearing in the space of, I already have it. This is done.
Yeah.
And that's when the magic happens in this space, right?
Ooh,
when we
I like
are, this is it. I am there. I am doing it. There is, like, as you said, there is no choice about a choice. This is done and I'm doing this. That was the intention. And when we set the intention, right, when we go into it, 100% intention, the house and the mechanics, it shows up. The opportunities, the support, suddenly, because you open the space of like, well, this is where I'm going. And suddenly you receive the support, right? Suddenly people showed up for you. And you, because you've set the intention, you were able to open yourself up and actually see it. Maybe the people were there before as well, but you were not able to see them at that moment because you had a different lens on.
Ooh, I like that, Martina. I said a yes.
Oh my goodness. This is just, I love this conversation. And so when can we read your book, Jessy? What's your intention about your book?
Oh my gosh. My intention of my book is, as that person's holding that book, whatever obstacle they're having at that moment and point and place in their time, to feel that power of knowing it's been overcome. That's my intention of my book.
So when can we read it?
So how can you support me? What did you say?
When can we read it? When is it going to be released? Setting the intention.
You called me out.
Holding you a little bit accountable here. Let's set the intention.
Wow, for real. Okay, you flipped that one on me. But thank you.
I'm just holding you high.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. My wonderful, beautiful friend Martina has done it in a very beautiful, loving way, put me out there. And I'm like, oh, but you know what? This is the support I asked for. This is the support. Oops, sorry, guys. Sorry. This is the support that I've had in the past that has kept me accountable to following through with things in my life.
Okay.
So, to answer your question, I will say a date would be January 2022. And I'm putting it out there, which is really huge because I have not. And my writing coach, Sage, which is part of the leadership, will be like, you gave a date, Jessy. Okay.
So what are you committed to creating, Jessy? Let's put it there as your committed statement. It's the 20th of September today, 2021.
You know what? It's going to be January the 29th, 2022, which is my oldest daughter, Genesis Majesty's birthday. And she's my majestic beginning. So I think that is a great date for a majestic beginning to take place, not just in my life, but in the lives of those men and women who will get a hold of that book. Um, wow. Did I just say that?
You just said that. This is happening, Jessy. So I am looking forward to doing another conversation to celebrate your book release. I'm just looking at the calendar right now. So the 29th of January, it's going to be Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have a conversation. Today is Monday, right? So on the 3rd of February, your
Yeah,
book
I'm
will
probably
be
really
out.
red. My face.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. It's already there and it's already happening, and we get to have a conversation. Put it in your calendar on the 3rd of February
Thank
to
you.
celebrate you and to celebrate your book release.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Yeah. Thank you for giving me that nudge or that kick on the butt, you would say, of
It's just this lovely. Off you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Off you
That's really right.
go.
And it's right on time because on Saturday I get to accomplish that goal, and we just move forward. And yeah, okay. Well, the pressure's on, Martina. Whoa,
Opportunity. The opportunity is
the
on.
opportunity. That's right. What lens am I looking at? Let me go ahead and practice what I preach.
It's easy to forget sometimes. You just put
Hey,
it back on.
but listen, that's where beautiful friends like yourself come in, and that's where that support group plays such a significant role in holding not only
Yeah.
accountable, but in reminding you, like y'all literally just saw this go from one spectrum to another. And that's life. It's life. That's life. But yes, all right. Well, we got work to do.
Oh, I'm excited for you. I already see you. I already see you. You have it. You celebrate it.
Thank you.
You
All
talk
right.
about it, and
I'm
it's
receiving it.
done.
Yes, it is.
Just feel it. It's done. It's done. It's done. I'm excited for you. So, Jessy.
Yes.
So we are reaching the end. So
Yes.
first of all, thank you so much for your time, for your vulnerability, for your courage, for your heart and your wisdom. I so appreciate you. I'm so looking forward to talk about your book in February, and maybe even earlier after the competition. I would love to hear and just how it went and what it took from you really to create something like that in your life. But if our listeners wants to continue to learn from you and keep getting inspired, where they can find you, what is the best way?
The best way is, well, on Facebook, Jessy Correa. Oh, I have all kind of things are happening, guys. This is my life, and notice that I don't even have 6 kids around me. This is just me on my own. Okay. Definitely my website. I'm sorry, my Facebook, Jessy Correa, and then I'm also on Instagram. So I can share that with you guys, or unless Martina, you want me to share it?
Yep. You can go when we finish. You can go into the comments and just share your link so
Okay.
people just can find you and connect
Yes.
with you and keep getting inspired.
Yeah,
with what you're
absolutely.
creating.
Yeah, but thank you for the opportunity once again. But more importantly, just for allowing, for stepping into your light by creating this, because it allows us to not only feel welcomed and received, but to be able to just be empowered on sharing our story, but in a way that, see, you guys need to understand. I've never met her in the human form, okay?
Yes.
But I love her. You know what I'm saying? So it's incredible because it's your spirit, it's your light, and you invite that. So thank you for really choosing courage over fear, which is pretty hot, you know. So
Thank you.
yeah. So
Just
I'm
like you.
oh. Thank you. Yes. So, but it's been amazing. And one thing that I would tell anyone, wherever you are, just know that you got this. You can do this, and don't hold back because the world needs you. Yeah. And You deserve to just give all that is within you. And whoever and whatever has made you feel that you're less than, you've never been that. Like I said, you've been created for greatness, each and every one of us. And you're light. By owning it, you inspire someone else to own theirs. So just do it. You got this. So.
You got this. Oh, thank you so much, Jessy. Thank you. And until we speak next time.
Yes, Martina.
One day in person.
Absolutely. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.